when God is trying to do something in your life. The enemy will always present another enemy that is not the real enemy to keep you distracted from fighting the one that you're called to defeat.
The devil's job, he got one mission, is to make you think you ain't gonna make it. The devil don't care about you. The devil wants to keep you from your destiny. That's his one job. Satan got one job, to keep you from your destiny. The devil don't ever want you to be what God created you to be.
You can't be distracted by things that are keeping you from your purpose. You don't have time to waste worried about what people think about you. Your time is too valuable to respond to every critic, every negative comment, try to convince people that you really are okay. Those are distractions. Everyone is not going to like you. Everyone's not going to accept you. Quit trying to convince someone to understand you that's determined to misunderstand you.
I don't have time for nonsense. Like what they say about me in the blogs. It don't matter what they say. They don't know me. They don't even know me. They never met me. They say negative stuff about me, don't mean nothing. Look at me. What I care what they say. God keeps blessing me. It don't matter what you say.
You got to learn to listen to yourself. You got too many distractions from the phone and text messages and all these other platforms out here. I don't take a phone call unless, and write this down, is it positive? If it's not positive, I'm not going to take it. Is it purposeful? Is it something that's in relationship to what I'm doing and where I'm going? Is this a contributor or a taker? There are people who are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. Is it productive? Is this worth my time? At 72, I'm not willing to waste my time talking with somebody, and it's not going to lead to anything. It's not productive. And is it profitable? Can I make some money with this person? You need to know that. Why? Your time is valuable. If you're going to lose something, lose some money. Time? You don't want to lose that. Money, you can recoup that. Time, you can.
You know, one of the things that human beings underestimate dramatically is their capacity to get great at something if they're totally immersed in it, totally laser focused on something. But as I've coached the very high-end athletes in my life, the top business people and entertainers, I can tell you that most people underestimate what total obsessive laser focused really is and what it looks like, because you are way more powerful than you know you are if you went crazy, psycho, obsessed, laser focused on anything, even something you're totally ill-prepared for. Humans have an unreal capacity to get great at things, even if they don't have a natural talent for it, if they're immersed in it, and to learn something and acquire a ton of knowledge in a short period of time as well. I'll give you an example of that. Unfortunately, right now, many of you know that my dad has cancer. He has a type of cancer called liposarcoma. 3 years ago, I had no idea what that word even meant. I had never heard that word uttered in my life, liposarcoma. And maybe you've had this experience before too, if a family member's come up with diabetes or a heart issue or any type of health issue even for yourself. You're not a doctor, probably most of you listening to this, but you've become pretty knowledgeable, haven't you, about some area of your life, whether that's something you've studied in school or a career you've chosen you didn't think you'd choose, or like in my case, there was an illness for my dad. I consider myself pretty damn close to an expert on that topic now. I've read so many books, I've studied, I've Googled, I've read research, I've read about the different chemos, alternative treatments, I've read about eating green. I mean, you name it, right? Like, I've gone crazy on that topic. And again, I'm not an oncologist, but I went from knowing absolutely nothing to 3 years later having an immense amount of knowledge. It's probably one of the 10 things I know most about in my life right now. And so that's because I got obsessed with it. Can you do that with where your goals and dreams are? Like, really, can you do it? Because the truth of the matter is, in society today, society is conspiring all the time in our culture to completely distract you so you never win. To just divert your focus and attention. Look over here. Look at this shiny thing. Look at this TV show. Look at this sports team. Worry about what's going on here in this war. And they get these different things on television and our phones and in our lives to just get us distracted so we never get obsessed. We never get laser focused for an extended period of time. Ask yourself truthfully, your big goals and dreams, are you really clear on what they are? Because if you don't have that, we can't even get started.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes, and he said it'll all change for you. So let's talk a little bit about personal development, that extraordinary adventure I undertook starting at age 25. And I've never ceased that adventure. I'm still going for it in the 90s. I want to get better and better. I want my craft to get better, my business operations to get better, the things I do to get better. Because once I picked up this simple formula, I'm telling you, it's easy to figure out where the problem is if you go to work on it.
You know how mandatory it is to be clear and specific for what you want, right? But then the next layer is this. Can you get laser obsessively focused almost to its exclusivity, almost, but for an extended period of time? Can you honestly say you've done that for an extended period? I'm talking about a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, even a decade, towards something you want so badly. You want it like oxygen. It's like you want it like you want to eat. You want it like you want to live, right? Well, are you extendedly laser focused on it, or do you get distracted easily? And then we're going to talk secondly on the back part of the audio and video today about paying the price and the sacrifice for a second. But let's talk first of all about getting laser focused. And I mean this as your friend. I mean this talking to myself too. I always cover things that make me better, things that I struggle with. But I got to tell you, I think there's a different level for you. I mean, I think there's a different level for you to get obsessed, crazy, laser focused. I say all the time, our obsessions become our possessions. But we won't possess them if we're not truly obsessed. I bet there's been a person in your life you've been obsessed with. If you're over 20 years old, listen to this, more than likely you've had somebody you were pretty obsessed with, haven't you? That you wanted in your life, you wanted to date, you wanted as a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a significant other. How many times a day did you think about them? How many times a day did they distract you from what you were doing with just the thought of them? In other words, this is what I want you to understand. When you're laser obsessed focused, your obsession distracts you from what you're currently doing, not the other way around. You're not really obsessed with it if you're easily distracted from it. This is so important. You right now can test whether it's your obsession with whether it distracts you constantly. The first thing you think of when you wake up, last thing before you go to bed. When you have a big laugh, it comes up. When you cry, it comes up. When you're watching TV, it comes up. When you're doing your regular job, but it's your side hustle, it comes up. You can't stop thinking about it. It distracts you from the rest of your life. That's what an obsession does. When it's not really your obsession, the rest of your life distracts you from it. And so the it in your life is so important. But there's all these things that distract us today. I'm going to give you a recommendation. Turn your damn TV off. Turn the radio off most of the time. Turn your phone off a lot too. So here's the deal. The TV's competing constantly to distract you with stuff that really doesn't matter. I'm not saying, by the way, don't be informed, don't know what's going on in the world, because that makes you more interesting, right? You should know what's going on in the world. But let's be real. Does it really matter what's going on with the Kardashians right now? Does it really matter? They live on my street in one of my neighborhoods, right? And they're very nice people, but I got to be honest with you. What happens in their life doesn't dramatically impact mine, but how many people are more obsessed with the Kardashians? And I can say this as good friends. We have many good friends in reality television. They're even listening to this right now, and they would tell you this. Don't be so obsessed with them. Be obsessed with your own reality TV program called Your Own Life.
Your purpose is so important right now that most of the times you probably don't have any idea how important it really is. You need to understand that with purpose, you have to put work into that. You have to be willing to put in some type of idea of what it is you need to be doing with your purpose. Now, a lot of people don't even understand what their purpose is. They don't even know where to go or how to search for their purpose. Well, the purpose has already begun the day you were born. It was already invented. It was already designed for you. But the thing that you have to understand about purpose is that it doesn't just fall in your lap to build it. You have to be willing to build it up. You have to be willing to work at it. You have to continue to search within yourself and search outside of yourself to get something out of whatever it is that you are honestly trying to get that's going to better your life. Now, there are going to be some circumstances that may come your way that you may not be ready for. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are supposed to stop. There are going to be many difficult things that's going to come your way. but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are supposed to stop. You have got to find reason behind your purpose to get things done. If you are living right now, which if you're watching this video, you obviously are living, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your trials and tribulations, you still have a mission in this world. You still have work to do in this world. Now, if you're spending more time on your excuses and your sorrows and all of your doubts and fears, then you're not going to get the most out of your life. So this is the time when you have to wake up within yourself, raise up that other person that has yet to be awakened, and do something with your life. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for something to happen to make something happen. I don't know why people think that that's the way to go. If you're laying in a position right now that you don't want to be laying in, then get up and do something.